Hey girl, so it's Saturday and I have time, so I thought I would come on here and finally film this video for y'all. So I have recorded this same video maybe 3 times. You know, all I could hear in the video when I was editing was the kids screaming, people running, the doors closing and opening, the birds chirping outside. And I said, you know what? For those of you who are here, who are watching this video, I feel like regardless of what's going on around me, you will stay and you will watch it. You're wanting information and you've been probably thinking about the same thing for a while, and you just need to know like what to do and how to start. My kids are very funny acting when it comes to food, and so one day they could like something and the next day they could hate it, the very same thing. So I leave room open for things to be changed or to be added and taken away. So today's video is a video of me sharing with you my fall and winter menu, as well as some tips on how to create a fall and winter menu in spring and summer menu, if that makes sense. So the first thing you would have to ask yourself is, why create a meal plan to begin with? And I want to say that for me, I can only speak for myself. Moving over to one income, creating a meal plan or seasonal meal plan helped me long term to visualize how much money that I was going to be spending on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. A lot of you who have been following me for a long time know that we are paid once a month, and sometimes having those meals already planned out, broken down from week to week, helps me not overspend. Same with seasonal. With seasonal, every 2 seasons, there are 26 weeks, and I just felt like knowing exactly what type of meals that my family like and love and rotating those meals would be so helpful to know if I set my goal for $250 a week that I can stay on budget. This is aside from the stockpile that I do once a month, but the stockpile is something that actually helps me more long term. So seasonal meal planning really just helps you with time management when it comes to the type of meals that you want to make. I think my top 2 types of meals that I love to make are one-pot meals and crock-pot meals. I'm just getting into the casseroles and things like that. And it's not that I haven't wanted to do like casseroles, but it just comes at a time where I feel like I really don't even think about making like casserole dishes, but I want to start implementing those, and I am actually implementing those in my fall and winter menu for this year. So for fall and winter meals, I stick to things like soups and stews, and then this year I wanted to implement casseroles as well. Those soups and stews and possibly casseroles last me 2, maybe 3 days. And that's pretty much how I plan. And so for each month, I have about 15 to 16 meals planned, and I rotate those meals. So because we are paid once a month, I plan bigger purchases at one time. Pretty much the first week of every month, I make sure I plan big purchases. So my meal plans used to go from day 1 of the month to the last day of the month. For the meals that I have, I believe I have 22 meals for the 26 weeks that I will be rotating. I will confirm that in just a moment. But rotating meals helps me know exactly how much money I'm going to spend from week to week. It is so helpful. I also make sure that I have like a list of items of how much it actually costs for that item, just in case I run out of something and I may have the full meal already here, but I may need to go grab like a pack of meat or hey, a box of pasta, which I probably won't need. Okay, so here is my book where I actually have all of my meals planned out, and I'm just gonna go through each one for fall and winter, and I just wanted to kind of give y'all an understanding of how I do my meal planning for this season. Keep in mind, whenever you're meal planning, to always include your family in the suggestions for food. I specifically meal plan more for the things that my family like versus the things that I can have. So if you see my stockpile, you understand that my stockpile is more for my family and other people versus me, because I am on a restricted diet, lifelong restricted diet. Certain things I can have, but there are a lot of things that I can't have at the same time. With that being said, I do have a lot of substitutions for myself. For example, if they're having mashed potatoes, I'll have rice on the side, or if they're having pasta, I'll have rice, because rice is gluten-free. I am a rice person. I love rice. And I do try to stick to 1 cup of cooked rice. I don't like quinoa. I don't like brown rice. I am a jasmine rice girl. And I mean, to each their own. You just know that I am going to go for the jasmine rice. All right, so let's get started with what is on my fall and winter menu. So the first thing you've already seen in a previous video recently is beef stew. In my beef stew, of course, you know I have beef chunks, or I'll have a whole beef roast with onions, potatoes, carrots, celery, and all that stuff. The next is chicken noodle soup. I have on here chili 7 different ways. So far I have classic beef chili, white chicken chili, buffalo chicken chili, brisket chili, 3-bean chili. I have cream cheese cracked chicken chili. I really like that one. We actually had that and the kids loved it. They actually like the name too. And then chicken pot pie, and this could be actually made in a crock pot or as a casserole. So keep that in mind. Some of these things you can make in different ways. You can make it in a one pot, you can make it in a crock pot. And so a lot of these meals, depending on how important, how busy my day is, if it's needing to go in the crock pot, I'll start my crock pot around 10 a.m. if it has to simmer pretty much all day, or I will throw it on a one pot around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The next one is Cajun potato soup, chicken stew, creamy chicken and rice soup, taco soup. Oh, taco chili is on the list as well. Southern pinto beans with ham hocks, egg noodles and chicken mushroom soup, lasagna soup, tomato soup with grilled cheese, Hoppin' John, which is my favorite. I actually grew up on Hoppin' John, which is like black eyed peas, tomatoes, and okra with some fried chicken and rice, y'all. That's my thing. Salisbury steak. And then one of the special meals that my kids gotta have on the menu for fall and winter this year, at least twice they said, is the sushi bake. And sushi bake is something that I make, and I don't make it all the time because it can get expensive, because whenever I make tacos, you guys, ask my friends, I go all out. I do the same with sushi bake. I go all out. I want them to have the full Asian or Korean experience when we're eating. So we do the seaweed, we do our own our own way of eating sushi, but good thing is the sushi bake, it is cooked. Salmon, you can choose salmon, tuna, or shrimp, and we always go for the salmon. Chicken and rice, one pot meal, and recently I added cream of mushroom to my chicken and rice. That is one pot meal that you can also turn into a casserole and bake it in the oven. I also love to make beef stroganoff. That is something that my kids love. Recently during Hurricane Helene, my mom made baked spaghetti and they loved it. It was a big, large pan of baked spaghetti. So I've added that to my menu. I always cook spaghetti stovetop, but I never included it in a big meal. I think it stretches way more when you put it in a casserole pan. So when I mention Salisbury steak, sometimes I'll make Salisbury steak, but sometimes I'll also switch that up and I will make meatballs, like Salisbury meatballs with onions, gravy, and mushrooms. And so that right there with my kids is a complete hit. Let's talk about rotating these meals. And so what that looks like is I do the 2-2-3 method for my meals each week. So whenever I am going out grocery shopping, which normally happens on Mondays, I'll do the weeks of grocery shopping on Monday. I will do my meals 2 days, 2 days, 3 days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then Friday, Saturday, and sometimes on Sunday. The last couple of Sundays, I have been making like big Sunday dinners, like, you know, the macaroni and cheese, greens, cornbread, and so far my family has been loving that, and I may end up going back to 2, 2, 2, and 1, but again, I want to make sure I am saving money and not wasting money. So the 2-2-2-3 really works for us. But again, like I said, I really want to make sure that my family is happy with the meals that I am making. And so far, the last couple of Sundays, they have been loving, you know, cabbage and, you know, greens and things like that. So I don't know. The good thing about seasonal meal planning, or meal planning in general, is that you can leave space open for changes. It doesn't have to be set in stone when you are meal planning. I just say you have to finalize your meal planning for that week before you go to the grocery store. And the one thing I am learning is that once you go to the grocery store and you have the food and you buy the food for the meals that you have planned for the week, stick to those plans no matter what. I know sometimes, for me, I've been that person where I have to have a taste for something for that day. I don't feel like eating that, so I would go out and buy something, or I would go out and do something completely different. I had to learn how to shut that feeling down to make sure that I was providing the meals that I planned. That is so important, because you can be spontaneous and still be able to do this. You just have to put your mind to it. You have to set in your mind that you are going to do it and you're going to stick with it. All right, so I want to talk to you now about creating a meal binder. One of the best things I've done was create a binder for everything food related in my house. This is not just for me, but it is definitely for the entire family to have access to, just in case I'm out of town or something happens. Maybe I'm down, like for example, I recently had surgery, and so having meals set up in a meal planning binder or a seasonal meal binder is helpful. This is not just a seasonal binder, it is a everyday binder that I am putting together. This is the binder. It's super big, but I am slowly filling this up. I don't know if you guys saw this in a previous video, but I basically designed this in Canva. And so the binder just says, the Nesbitt family, our favorite foods and recipes, established 2024, made with love, the ultimate kitchen guide. In my binder, I will be breaking everything down into sections, and each section is going to have a season attached to it. So each section will have, is this more for fall and winter or spring and summer? And so I want you guys to be able to be as efficient as possible in the kitchen, so that you're not stressed out and you're like, oh, I gotta cook again. One of the reasons why I do leftovers, and like I said, I do 2, 2, and 3, is because I don't want to burn myself out cooking every single night. My family, we like leftovers. Your family may not, and so you may want to restructure how you meal plan or seasonal meal plan based on how often you guys like to eat. After the 3rd day or so, I am good. Everybody else is like, I can do one more day, whatever. It's whatever it is. Just make sure your family is on board with it. My husband, though, he has a stomach of steel. He can eat spaghetti for a week. I am like, you're good after day 2. I can't do that, but he can, and he's the one that taught me how to eat leftovers, because I was never raised on leftovers. My grandmother and my mother cooked every single day. So leftovers was definitely new to me when I met my husband. Get you a binder. It does not have to be this big. You may not need to do a binder, but definitely have something in place where you can always go back and refer to meal ideas, so you're not always looking online. What did your family love? What did they not like? You know, document all of that stuff to kind of help you be better with meal planning. The next thing I want to talk to you about is making sure you prepare and plan well. Every Sunday I will sit down and plan out what I need to buy from the grocery store on Monday. Plan well. I am online. I do a lot of Walmart and Sam's Club orders because they do offer orders online, which I do appreciate. And I'm able to stick to what I say I'm gonna buy. Because of that, I don't have to go into the store and add unnecessary things to my cart, knowing full well I don't need to add it. All right, so over time, as you feel like, okay, I'm kind of getting tired of eating baked spaghetti, I want to put something new in my plan. And that's totally okay. I think, like I said in the beginning, you have to leave room for new meals because you do get tired of the same meals over and over again. I know I do. If you want like new ideas, I would go back to the drawing board. I will definitely join, like, there are so many different Facebook groups that you can join for meal ideas. My number one place to go for meal ideas is TikTok. TikTok has been a wealth of meal ideas for me, and I have written down things that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try that. I've even learned how to make my own like pastries with puff pastries. You guys, don't knock TikTok. I know it can be a little messy, but there is a wealth of things on there that has been beneficial to me as far as like meal planning, canning, preserving, gardening. There's so much more out there that is beyond the mess that goes on TikTok. Do not overwhelm yourself feeling as though you have to stick to what you have planned. The goal is to make sure you have your plan set in stone before you go to the grocery store. And when you do go to the grocery store, make sure you stick to what you planned. That is it. Now, if you're more like me, due to health issues or whatever it is, you may be allergic to something, or you may not be able to tolerate certain types of food. For me, it's pork. For me, it's fried foods. I can't eat it. Pasta really hurts my stomach. I have had to go gluten-free a lot. I tend to not eat a lot of sugar. I want to challenge you around February the 1st of 2025 to sit down and write out 26 meals that you would like to have for spring and summer. Again, you want to get in your mind to shop weekly, but plan monthly. Yeah, that helps. Plan for the whole month. Make sure you incorporate events that are going on during the month, birthdays, anniversaries, vacations, and plan around those so that you're able to kind of cut certain meals out completely. What is the ultimate goal here? The ultimate goal is to minimize eating out as much as possible, making meals from scratch as much as possible. I'm not that person that's going to tell you, hey, you got to cook from scratch. You got to make your pasta. You got to make your bread. Oh, you got to juice your juice. You got to, do all these things. You know what you can do. The goal is to provide food for your family. And however you feel like you want to do it, you should do it, and do it the most cost-effective way for you. I cannot tell you how much you should spend. I cannot tell you what you should not buy or anything like that. That is not the goal. The goal here is to minimize stress, reduce your grocery bill, and save you time. That is it. So if you have any questions about seasonal meal planning altogether, or if you just want help building your meal binder or your food binder, let me know. I am here to help. I would love to help you because I know that it has helped me. Embracing something new is very hard, but once you start doing it, and I did it for about I think about 2 months before I started feeling like, okay, this is actually good. I can actually do this. This is what I need to do, because at some point you have to make these changes. So I hope that this video gets you started on meal planning, thinking about seasonal meals. Again, I'm gonna provide you with all the meals that I have for this season down in the description. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that this lit a fire under your belt so that you can get started with meal planning. See you in the next video. Bye.